It's easy to overshare and let other people see too much of ourselves in today's connected world, both in person and on social media, which is always there. Stoicism is an old philosophy that tells us to guard certain parts of our lives. Being open and vulnerable can help us build lasting relationships and learn to understand others, but it's also important to keep some things to yourself. Some personal things and events that should be kept private will be talked about in this video. Things that should not be shared for any reason. Privacy can help you in many ways, both in the long run and in terms of finding inner peace. For the people who follow us, for intellectual or Stoic ideas, don't worry. This movie will show you how to be Stoic in the modern world. Stoicism, which has roots in ancient Greece and Rome, has timeless advice on how to walk the thin line between being open and keeping things private. This article will talk about 7 things that Stoicism says we shouldn't tell other people, explaining why the theory is still important in today's world. Before we start, please make sure you've subscribed to the channel and turned on the bell so you don't miss any inspiring videos. To always be the best person you can be. Number 1. The battles you fought in the past. There's no need for others to grasp in the journey of life. There's no need for other people to understand. We have fights to fight, struggles to go through, and problems to solve that might stay hidden in the deepest parts of our hearts. Other people don't have to fully understand these personal fights you fought in the past. People who have been through their own hard times don't expect you to defend yourself. In fact, trying to explain all of your struggles may come across as arrogant, as if seeking validation for your experience is what makes you who you are. You shouldn't make these problems public, though, and you shouldn't use your problems as an excuse or story. Those tough times have been the crucible where your life was formed, making you more mature, wise, and determined. Even though your past has changed you, other people don't need to clearly imagine the pain you've been through. What they really need to see is how much you've changed and grown. In the end, it's more admirable for someone to stop thinking too much about the past and instead be fully present in the present. Actions, not words, are the best way to show what kind of person you are and what you've been through. What they really need to see is how much you've changed and grown. In the end, it's more admirable for someone to stop thinking too much about the past and instead be fully present in the present. Actions, not words, are the best way to show what kind of person you are and what you've been through. Instead of bragging about what you've done in the past, it's about putting your skills to use and showing how strong and resilient you really are. By doing this, they go beyond being just stories of triumph and become live proof of the strength of the human spirit. Think about a man named David, who has been through a lot in his life. He has lost someone close to him or her. Unemployment and a lot of problems with raising his kids by himself. These hard times have changed David's life in big ways and shown how much he has grown. David chose to live in the moment in a positive way instead of telling others about the hard things he has been through. He learned how to make the most of every situation and give his kids a safe place to live. David didn't spend a lot of time talking about his own problems. He instead showed patience, strength, and kindness by helping people in his neighborhood. Because of this, everyone in David's community saw how his life had changed for the better and how he had helped them. David didn't talk a lot about his problems in the past. Instead, he showed through his actions that he had been through hard times and come out on the other side as a strong and useful person. Number 2. The specifics of your goals are better left unshared. It's usually smarter not to go into too much information about your goals. Most people may know where you're going in general, but imagine what would happen if you told them exact details about every step of your trip. It's the same as letting anyone use your personal phone without any limits. You basically give up control of the situation when you do that. In the event that something does not go as planned, you might wonder whether you made a mistake or someone broke your trust. If there is an attack, it's hard to figure out where it came from because there are so many possible sources of harm. It's also hard to tell if the attacker is a friend who just wants to know about your plans or someone with bad intentions. It is very important to keep the important information of your goals safe. In fact, normally just saying the general way you're going is enough. Don't feel like you have to tell everyone every little detail about your trip. After all, you're the only one who can really be your friend. You are on your own road and don't know anyone else. A full description of what you want to achieve. There's no reason why only you should know everything about your own trip. Imagine that you are an artist who is making a one-of-a-kind, valuable work of art. Everyone around you knows you're making a work, but you haven't said anything specific about it. You only say that the sculpture will be a great work of art and something unique. One day, you decide to tell a close friend more about your sculpture because you trust them. You go into great depth about its shape, size, and importance. Though, after some time, you learn that specifics about your sculpture have been shared. Some people know everything about your art and are trying to copy it, or even trick you into giving them your work. By giving away too many details about your work, you have lost control and put it at risk of being copied or stolen. You can protect your art and keep its surprise and unique value if you only tell people that you are working on a special piece without giving away too much information. Third, your happiness being sure that happiness and a sense of lightness are hard to come by. Number 3, your happiness believing that joy and a sense of lightness are scarce. People really want to feel these feelings, and when you radiate happiness, it can have a big effect. Different people may respond in different ways, with some admiration and some doubt. Some people may be amazed by your sincere smile, while others may doubt your sincerity because they find it hard to believe that someone can really be at peace in that environment. If someone asks how you're doing, you should be proud to show how happy you are. You don't need to play down how happy you are. You can definitely say that you are doing well instead of just saying that you're doing well. It's a small change, but it gives off an air of confidence and happiness. Instead of focusing on how great things are going in your life, it's fine to say that things are going well in a world that is often filled with sadness and unhappiness. Being happy can be seen as a dangerous thing to do at times. People who are angry or unhappy may try to get in the way of the peace that others have found. Sharing your happiness, on the other hand, is a brave thing to do that can encourage others to find their own sources of happiness. In a world where negativity is common, your real happiness can be a light of hope and a reminder that you can find inner peace even when things are hard. And don't be afraid to show how happy you are. You can be an example to those around you. Imagine that a Christian named John is going through a tough and stressful time. Having faith in God has given John strength and hope in his life. John always seems happy and upbeat in his daily life, and even when things are hard, his smile always shines through. If you ask John about his life, he will never say that everything is fine. He will smile and say that everything is fine instead. He's not trying to hide the truth, he's just thankful for his faith and his ability to get through anything. But not everyone in John's life is happy about this. Some people might not think that someone can be truly happy even though they are going through hard times. They might think John is too positive and wonder if he is telling the truth. The important thing is that John doesn't care about this question and keeps spreading his joy and hope. John not only believes in God, but he also brings his faith to the world by being happy and positive. He doesn't try to make his life perfect. Instead, his thankfulness and good mood make people feel good about themselves. He has to deal with the doubt and discontent of those around him, though. If you choose to live a happy life in a world full of problems, this might happen. Still, John decides to stay true and not let the bad things people say affect his mood. Number 4, the importance of protecting privacy. When it comes to keeping a healthy and strong romantic bond going, there is an important rule that is often missed. How important it is to protect your relationships and privacy and not talk about problems or private matters on the internet, where everyone can see them. It's something that can make your link stronger and last longer. There's a strong urge to vent or get help from friends and acquaintances when problems or disagreements arise in a relationship. However, it's important to stop and think about what this deed means. Sharing personal information about your interactions with other people, especially on the internet, can weaken the foundation you're trying to build. Imagine that you and your partner are having a hard time in your relationship. You and your partner need to talk about something important that is making your mental lives difficult. You decide to tell a close friend about this instead of sitting down and talking about it straight with each other. You need help and advice from someone who is not involved with you. To fix the problem, you tell your friend what's going on, how you feel, and how you want to see things from a different point of view. Unfortunately, though, things go in a different direction after you tell your story. They start to say what they think and say what they think about things. They start to wonder why you're with this person, tell you how to deal with the problem, and even say that you worry about your partner. Over time, the conversation turns to your friends, their thoughts and opinions, and you feel like the main problem has been pushed to the side. The chat stops being about how to fix the problem and make things better in your relationship and starts talking about other people's thoughts and ideas. Communication and closeness are two of the most important parts of a healthy friendship, but they work best when they are grown within a relationship, not when they are grown outside of it. In their search for peace, many people are dealing with problems in their marriages. It could be family, friends, or even people online. By doing this, they turn their private problems into public talk without meaning to. When you realize this, it's clear that keeping a careful balance between closeness and privacy is key to the health of your relationship. It means being able to work out problems and handle arguments without telling everyone about every little thing that's going on in your relationship. In a way, the sacred place you and your partner make together is what makes your relationship strong. There's a lot of room for open and honest conversation, direct resolution of disagreements, and intimacy because you don't have to tell other people everything about your relationship. You protect this space's sacredness and make sure it stays a place of strength and support for you and your partner. Remember that while getting help and advice is good, it's just as important to keep the secrecy and closeness that make your relationship unique safe. Number 5, your financial situation. First, keep in mind that no one in your social group works for the IRS or a bank, so there's no need to share private financial information. The second thing is that telling people about your finances, whether you are financially stable or in debt, can have bad results. If you are wealthy, telling people about it could bring in people with bad intentions who see you as a possible source of money. On the other hand, if you're having money problems and say so, many people might look down on you. Society often thinks that money and personal worth go hand in hand. Things work this way because that's how the world is, so be careful. So, the best thing to do is to keep your financial position a secret. Let people guess as much as they want, but don't say anything about your finances. This way, you can be sure that the people close to you don't worry too much about your money situation. If you show that you are desperate or having trouble with money, it can hurt your chances and make people avoid you. Showing that you're desperate will only get you into trouble, whether you're at a job interview, a party, or just hanging out with friends. Not only does desperation make people angry, it also makes you look like a burden to others. Do not forget that being desperate will not help you reach your goals. Actually, it's likely to turn away the help you need the most. So, if you ever feel like telling other people that you don't have control over your money, it's usually best to keep your secret and avoid doing so. To sum up, it's important to act with ease and confidence. People will give it a lot of weight when judging you. Remember that how you look is very important to other people, even if you're feeling unsure or having money problems. Showing confidence is the best way to make people believe that you're in charge and can handle anything that comes your way. Number 6, personal relationships and confidences. Stoicism as a philosophy puts a lot of weight on how important it is to keep trust and loyalty in human relationships. Stoics believe that telling others about their secrets and weaknesses can make things worse, eventually destroying trust and weakening the very foundations on which our relationships are built. Stoics strongly believe in being honest and discreet when dealing with other people's private information and weaknesses. They know that how we handle these kinds of trusting relationships shows not only what kind of person we are, but also how morally honest we are and what our core values are. From the point of view of a Stoic, being careful and respectful with private information is important to us because we know that the trust others put in us shows how good we are and how much we care about their well-being. Allowing others to keep their secrets and practicing discretion not only shows that we are morally strong, but it also helps relationships grow strong and last a long time based on trust and loyalty. When we handle other people's secrets, this Stoic principle reminds us that what we do shows what kind of person we are and how decent we are, both to ourselves and to everyone else. Think about a close friend who tells you about the problems and worries in their daily life. They have told you their deepest feelings and secrets because they trust you completely. The most important thing is that you promise to keep this information secret and stand by them no matter what. At some point later, though, another friend calls and asks you to give them the information you know. The fact that you promised to keep the first friend a secret puts you in a tough moral spot. If you follow Stoic principles, you would refuse to tell the second friend what you know in this case. The first friend's trust and privacy must be kept safe. This shows how to be discreet and moral when other people are watching, and how to protect the trust your first friend has put in you. Number 7. Maintain ethics and personal values. Stoicism shows us the way and stresses how important it is to always stick to our morals and values, no matter what other people or social expectations may try to pull us away from our true beliefs. People often give up on their deeply held beliefs in order to fit in and get approval from others. However, Stoicism is a timeless philosophy that always tells us to stay true to our commitment to virtue and ethical behavior, even when society puts pressure on us to do otherwise. The idea of Stoicism tells us to be firm and not give in, and not change our beliefs or core values just to fit in with society's rules or to please people. It serves as a reminder to keep our moral sense steady, serving as our constant guide through the rough seas of life's temptations and problems. By following this philosophical advice, we not only stay morally pure, but we also show others how to live their lives, being an example of the character strength and fortitude that can come from a strong commitment to live by our highest ideals and principles. In its simplest form, Stoicism is a way of thinking that tells us to build an inner power that can stand up to the changes in our lives and the pressures of society. It teaches us that our morals and values should not change, no matter what the world thinks or how much we want to fit in, to use the deep words of the Stoic thinkers. There is a timeless reminder that if we want to be wise and good, we need to stick to our principles and fight the currents that are always trying to pull us off the right road. Stoicism, an old theory, shows us how to keep our moral compass sharp, which helps us live honest and true lives. Imagine that there is a Christian person named Alex, who lives in a world where greed and fierce competition are common. In line with what the Bible says, Alex has always lived his life based on respect, kindness, and love for others. Alex will, however, face the push to succeed at all costs and get rich one day because of the way society works now. Alex is presented with a business chance that, if he takes it, could make him a lot of money very quickly. But in order to take advantage of this chance, he has to do something illegal and secretive that goes against his values and hurts other people. In this case, Alex is led by his morals, instead of giving up his morals and beliefs for short-term gain. Alex chooses to keep his promise to be moral and tolerant. He turns down that business chance and stays true to the ideals and principles he stands for, even though he might face pressure and problems to keep his moral character. Alex shows how strong he is by sticking to his beliefs, By doing this, he not only keeps his moral character strong, but he also shows those around him how important and powerful it is to live by the higher values he seeks. The 7 things we talked about above are the most important things that Stoicism tells us not to show other people. However, there are other parts of Stoic knowledge that can help us deal with the difficulties of life and relationships. First, bad opinions and rumors. Stoicism tells us not to have bad opinions about other people and not to spread rumors. Lying about other people and passing judgment can hurt our relationships and our own character. The Stoics believe that when we judge or talk about other people, we are showing our own flaws in character. They also think that by not criticizing or talking about other people, we are creating a bad and toxic environment. We stick to our morals and encourage healthier relationships with other people. Second, the fear of dying and going to heaven. Stoicism talks about our fear of death and the fact that we will die. It's normal to think about our own deaths, but thinking about them all the time can make you feel anxious and hopeless. Stoicism teaches us to accept that death is a part of being human by recognizing that we will die and not focusing on it all the time. To live a fuller life, we can focus on the things we can change and the good qualities we can make ourselves. Third, guilt and anger from the past. Stoic advice also says that it's important not to think about regrets and anger from the past. Keeping grudges or thinking about mistakes we've made in the past can make us feel and think badly. Stoics say that we should be aware of our past deeds and learn from them, but we shouldn't let them shape our present or future. Through learning, forgiving, and letting go of grudges, we are free from the mental weight of the past. Finally, personal accomplishments and wins. Even though it might not make sense, Stoicism tells us not to brag about our own wins and accomplishments. Being humble and modest are important to this mindset. Avoiding unnecessary self-promotion is a way to learn that real success comes from living a good life and not from seeking approval or praise from other people. We stay humble and keep our eyes on the road of virtue. We keep our eyes on the pursuit of excellence because it brings peace and happiness on its own. Stoicism stresses the importance of inner peace and happiness in a world full of wants and distractions. Stoicism tells us that the only way to find true happiness is to stay true to ourselves and not let outside events or things change our inner peace and contentment. In our search for a well-lived life, we become stronger and more able to rely on ourselves. Stoicism gives us a complete plan for how to live a wise, good, and peaceful life. It tells us not to let other people into certain parts of our lives, but it also stresses how important it is to develop traits like caution, humility, and strength. By following these Stoic principles, we can handle the complicated world we live in with ease and honesty, making friends and finding happiness in our quest for a life well lived. We live in a time when oversharing and getting approval from others are big parts of our social lives. Stoicism is a timeless way to remember that happiness and virtue come from inside us. Thanks for seeing this movie. We're excited to hear from you. Which of the 7 things you shouldn't tell other people is the most impressive to you? Please leave your answer in the area below. If this video helped you, please like it and share it with other people you think could use it. Don't forget to click the box that says subscribe. If you haven't already, please follow us so that we can all learn and grow together.